Dal Marvin 7, 8 minutes. Baruch Shevion Mikimon V'Gion Azman Hazeh. This morning was the first time that we laid in our own Sefer Torah, our brand new Sefer Torah brought from Eretz Yisrael after 37 years. Baruch Hashem presented to that. And our little Ariel, 6 years old, he was trying to was concerned we should start a daven already. He told me, he says that there's already 10 people here. And I guess he was worried about the shkia, because in Eretz Yisrael there's only two things that the Hamoy, that people are intimidated by. They're intimidated by an arrow and by the shkia. So Baruch Hashem, we have a then it says four categories that to define when they reach that category: a chacham, a gibor, a noshir, and a mechubed, an honorable person. Four special categories. And it's not what we would assume to define someone as a chacham, as a gibor, a noshir. Someone can be AAA plus down in Broad Street. That doesn't mean that they're a noshir. Someone can be very well read. He might have degrees in psychology, in science, in engineering, in philosophy, whatever it is. Doesn't mean he's a chacham yet. And someone who has muscles like Tarzan or something, that's not a king yibber, that's not a yibber. Mechubed is also, what is a mechubed? Who is really a very honorable person? Someone who appreciates what another human being is. He understands the qualities and the values and the chshivas, the nobility of another human being. That's mechubed. They tell over, Vienner Rov was the first Vienner Rov here in America, so he was on the telephone, and he motioned his Rebbetzin that she should bring him his hat. So she couldn't imagine, he's not saying a bracha, he's not benching, he's talking on the telephone, what in the world does he need a hat for? So he told me, he says, what do you mean? I'm speaking to the place that got there, I'm speaking to Moshe Feinstein. So how can I talk to him on someone without having a hat on? That's a Bakovich command. That's a person that has prestige and dignity. He appreciates someone else's prestige. A dignified, prestigious person doesn't mean somebody that everybody bows down to him and pays him honor. That's a givir. Some because of his money, so you pay me a special tribute and honor because there's an ulterior motive here. It's not something, an intrinsic value that he has. There was the Rabbi Anschel Rothschild, HaRav Tzaddik. So he had to be someone in a strange town for Shabbos, and the secretary was traveling with him. He instructed him that he shouldn't reveal to anyone his identity. So Friday night, he went to the Smith daven. Shabbos morning, he was a Yeki, a Deitch, and he saw the signs. He read there, Shachris 9 o'clock. So Rothschild is there not 9 o'clock, he's there 10 to 9. It's 9 o'clock. By him, 9 o'clock means 9 o'clock. It means that's when you started daven, not a minute after. It's 5 after 9, it's 10 after 9, and he doesn't understand this kind of behavior. What do you mean? There's people, there's 2 million, and 3 million, and 4 million people sitting in shul, and it's 10 after 9, so he said, I asked him, what's the problem? Why aren't they davening yet? So he said, oh, you're a newcomer here. He didn't tell him who he was. He said, we don't start a daven until the gevir, the wealthiest man in town, is present. Oh, this he didn't understand some of that. A whole oilam should wait for one human being. He'd say he's a tremendous Talmud Chochem. He's a man with special Kedushin, Talin, Chochem, and Torah. But because of his money, 40, 50 people should wait. Finally, 9:30, he shows up. He was with his sensitivity and with his surmising a person. Arshot took one look at him, he understood what kind of Gevir he is. So, the davening, they come to Kriyas HaTorah, and the Gaboim, they see a stranger in town. They don't know it was Rothschild. So that they want to give him an aliyah, they call him up. And after aliyah, they say, Mish, Babur Shanada. They ask him, would you like to donate something for the Medrash? So he's looking around for where that Gevir is sitting. So he finds it. As much as that year, whatever his, they assess him at his value. People there farm up. They say, just a minute. Do you know what you're talking about? This man is the Gevir of town. So he said, but do you know who I am? I'm Rothschild. Oh! He said, you're Rothschild, they couldn't finish that. That was it. They're making all kinds of plans. They're going to build a new mikveh, a new cheder, and a new walk, and the shul has to be it's all spent already. They didn't get it yet. It's spent. They can't have Musaf. Who has that? Rothschild is here, and he's going to give whatever. They're so anxious, the Gaboim are so anxious to lay their hands on that money. So, when you saw Shabbos, right after Abdullah, they go knocking by Rothschild on his, where he's staying, the hotel, knock at his door. Oh, thank you very much for what you're doing for us. We want to save you the trouble of coming to us. So we came to you. So he said, just a minute. He says, I made an neder. I must make sure to honor it. He says, I would like to know exactly what's his value, what he possesses. So he said, well, in town they say that he's worth 700,000 rubles. So he said, well, so you give us 500,000, we'll be happy. He said, oh, no. He said, a nether's a nether. I can't. You're playing with a nether, something that's very serious. Maybe worth more than 700. He said, don't worry about it. He said, no. He said, a nether has to be paid exactly. They can't budge him. So he says he would, and the only way that he'll know, he says he wants to see the Gevir's books. So they here, they're trying to get the money on their hands on this money, and they see they can't budge him, and he's a man that could hand over that kind of money, so they had to go along with him. He says he wants to see his books, whatever he's worth. They felt sure once the Gevir will show him the books, that this is what he's worth. So he'll hand over make out the check and finish. But how do you approach them? They have such respect, and they held him in such high esteem. Nobody dared step on his toes. How can you ask him something like that? So they thought. They figured they'll try to be as diplomatic and sensitive as they can. They knocked on the door meekly, and they said they're so ashamed they don't know what to do. He said, my books? Absolutely not. So they had to go to the Rov. We went to the Rov. The Rov says, Rothschild's right. You can't make him hand over anything. He's right. I'll be alachim. He said, the letter is what this man is worth. He has to see how much he's worth. So they went back with him socked in the Rov. And he has to show, if they want the money, he has to show. Now they really had something that they told him, some socked in the Rov. You have to show us your books. You must, we're going to lose your... So they showed the books. Not only did he possess 500,000, but he was in debt 300,000. So here was the Gevir from the shtetl. He's not somebody that everybody stands up for him. He has to have respect and honor for other people as well. speak of Torah mitzvah, Shnemar, Anu Chavis Man Chitkoy, Yad B'Torah Yad.